everybody, thank you for watching my video. This is Sublime Seraphina. Subscribe below. You know what I mean. Just come on, yeah. So this week, we are, what are we doing? We're dissecting my trauma. Oh, Lord, help us all. Lord, my fiance's coming home. I'm coming home. I've had like 2 hours to make this video before he came home, and I've been just playing around, showing off my nails. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. I'm making my vlog video. Oh. You wanna come say hi?
Sure.
Say hi.
Hello, YouTube.
Do you have any childhood traumas?
I think we all do.
What are yours? Do you see any of these that stand out to you? Physical abuse, physical neglect, family violence, school violence, life-threatening accidents or injuries, loss or separation from a parent, forced displacement, discrimination, rape, attempted rape, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, medical trauma. Any of those stick out to you? Like, because they have no damn childhood trauma. I can't believe, I already started now. Ain't no going back. Just telling all my business. You know. I'm breaking the family code. Being honest and telling my business. Don't nobody in my family do this shit. We suffer in silence. Silence. Okay, let me stop. Ma'am, you're not even funny, ma'am. I'm gonna need you to be serious, please. Okay. This one right here hurts the most. So, although I have not physically lost my parents, I feel like early on, you know, I lost the parents that I once knew. Although they were there for me physically, they were not there for me emotionally and mentally. And that felt like a tremendous loss. When I was separated from my dad, we were living in Denver, and then I came out here, and my mom had this new boyfriend, and she just wasn't the same mom that she was before I left her. So I was just like, get the fuck up. What? Who? Okay. So I felt like I lost the mother that I had before she was with my stepdad. And I just felt like I was just out here alone. You know, I don't know how sad and lonely that road was growing up. Lord Jesus. And I'm an only child from my mom's side, so I was just alone. I still feel that way till this day. But I'm working on, you know, realizing that that's not initially the case because I have my fiance, you know. But, you know, when I see things happening in my family and see people choosing sides and stuff like that, and how everybody has a sibling but me, I'm just like, yeah, I am still alone. This is crazy. I also feel like, you know, because I am a late blooming adult, I felt like I was separated from my mom before I was ready to be. And, you know, now at 31, it's like, well, bitch, that's too damn bad. Get over it. But in my, like, late teens and I'm talking about, like, 17 to 19, and in my early 20s when I felt like I needed my mom the most, it was like, bitch, she with her man. She ain't worried about you. It's like, mom, okay. But luckily, you know, I adopted other moms into my life and to help me navigate things, because I was living in Colorado, she was living in New York, and we were just on opposite sides of the country. Yeah. Okay. Physical abuse. So, most of my physical abuse was bestowed upon me by the hands of my father and stepfather. I have mentioned this in my first video, I believe. I mean, it wasn't a regular reoccurrence, but it happened, and it should have never happened to the extremes that it did. I know back in the 90s and before then, spanking was really popular amongst parents. I mean, I don't know if I'm just speaking for Black parents, but I only have Black parents. So yeah. Yes, whole new video, whole new hairstyle. Look, I could not end 2020 with that being my last video. It was a lot to edit and dissect, and it was just a lot to just pour upon my page. So what I'm gonna do is like gradually talk about each trauma in different videos. So when you see me, you know, like it was just all the stress in my head. Ultimately, what I was thinking about is the betrayal and the fact that people have undermined my story for so long to try to, you know, make me feel like I was delusional. Like, I was like, what I need to do is talk about this superpower I got. My therapist, they had gave me my props, and it made me realize like that is my superpower. The fact that I can even think at this level after what I've been through is a superpower. So that's what I'm going to talk about for the most part in this video. But first, let me say that because I was, you know, I lost sense of protection at a very early age. I also lost a lot of my sense of self-worth. So I didn't feel like I was worth loving as a child, even up into my early adult years. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think I had any self-worth. I just thought I was useless because ultimately my parents made me feel that way, and then them making me feel that way made it seem like it was okay for other people around me to make me feel that way. So I'm just here to tell my story and defend myself for the most part, because people need to know that regardless of how I acted, I wasn't just acting the way I acted because I was bored and it was Tuesday. I was a child with a lot of emotional instability. So a lot of people believe that children, in order to function, I guess, need clothing, food, and shelter. And let me tell you, that's a basic necessity for a human being in general, not just children. And there are some people who are not fortunate enough to receive those things. I send my love to them. But what a child needs is stability, structure, communication, love, emotional support, and so much more. And people fail to realize that. Like, when you think about how a lot of these adults you may know are just so emotionally just out of whack, it's because they didn't get that emotional support they needed as a child. And I see it so much, and then I see it in children around me not getting that emotional support, and it scares me because I'm like, I don't want them to grow up to be the adults that, you know, can't be functioning members of society or become negative statistics or whatever the case may be. And yeah, so please think about that. A child needs way more than food, clothing, and shelter. So yeah, my aunt apologized to me recently because she thought that because I had shelter and clothing and food, I was fine. And now she realizes that there was more that a child needed. So I appreciated her apology, because it's like, yes, thank you. Like, I knew I wasn't delusional. There was something that was lacking. I mean, just imagine feeling like your parents didn't want you, or you were kind of like a burden to them. And granted, when you turned 18, they were like, bye, bitch. You're an adult now, gotta go. And it's like, at 18, I'm still mentally 13. So I'm just like, wait, what? I don't know what's going on. Okay, yeah. So it's just all over the place. So what I'm trying to do is like catch up to myself now. That's why I'm healing my inner child. So, my superpower, look. So in those videos, you saw me, you know, that, look, just stressed. And my therapist, they were like, so what's your next video going to be about? And I was like, I'm going to be dissecting my traumas. And they were like, how do you feel about that? Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what, how I feel honestly right now is I feel like I just need to forgive myself. Dun, 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 dun. My superpower. That's what I need to do. I need to forgive myself for believing that I wasn't worth loving, for believing that I wasn't worth anything, for believing that, you know, I wasn't beautiful and these things. I really believed it. And I am one of those people who believe that beauty is skin deep. You know, like if you're an ugly person on the inside, you know, it doesn't matter how you look outside to me. If you're just an ugly soul, then you're ugly. But I mean, whether I went through an awkward high school phase, I still took the time to try to make myself look cute. I've always been a lip gloss wearer. So inside of me, I wanted to believe I was beautiful, but nobody was telling me, so I didn't believe it. I was like, well, I must be this ugly bitch. And, you know, going to school with all the, like, Beckys and Karens. Sorry. Oh, my God. You gotta call a spade a spade. But they were, you know, the European standard for beauty, and then here my black ass was like, okay, yeah. And so I just feel like in a situation like that, first of all, if I'm gonna have my child suffering like that, I'm gonna install beauty into them like there's no tomorrow. And nobody was telling me these things. These are things I gradually had to learn as I got older. But, you know, I've made my last video talking about my experience in school, and yeah, it's, man. Regardless of what anybody says, black is beautiful. So, that's what I'm doing now with these videos. It's telling my story and freeing myself and forgiving myself, and hoping family members who've ever doubted me, whoever made me ostracize me, made me feel horrible about myself, see these and be like, damn, I did not know what Serafina was going through behind closed doors. Her parents made it seem like, you know, everything was okay, and she was just this menace who was mad that her mom remarried or whatever the case may be. And even if that was the case, first of all, that's a normal, when your whole little, like, structure is snatched under you, and now there's a new man in your life, and your mom is not as much in your life as she was, and your dad is in a whole nother state. You're like in the abyss. So I kind of felt like my parents didn't want me. Like, yeah, we all know they got they know we got a daughter, but we don't fuck with her, like that type shit, you know? And it only got worse as I got older, because it's like, we really don't have to do shit for this bitch. It's so sad, but that's how I feel. So, there's this book that I am reading right now, and it has saved my life. I'm only on like chapter 5, and I highly recommend it. I brought it on Audible. I sent the link to it to so many people, because I know so many people in a situation like mine. The book is called Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Woo! So this book, I have, you know, realized that my parents are also children of emotionally immature adults. So it's like, I really been expecting things from these people who didn't get it themselves. So I know a lot of people are like, you need to forgive your parents and da-da-da-da-da. And sure, but I need to forgive myself first in order to forgive them. Because I let them make me feel like I wasn't worth loving, not letting everybody know everything. But a lot of people have seen things, and a lot of people have said things, and they've said it in particularly to me, because I don't know if they're scared to say it to my parents or they don't want to step on their feet. But a lot of people have sided with me when it comes to situations like, yeah, I didn't agree with how your mom did this and your dad did that, and I'm like, yeah, I know, nobody in their right mind should have agreed with these things. But I will advocate for myself when it comes to my parents. So when I tell them these things, my mom's biggest defense is, my mom didn't do it for me and you'll be fine. And it's like, but you're not fine. So the difference between me and you is I'll tell you that I need these things or that you didn't give me these things, but you would never tell your mom. One of the things I learned in the book is that in order for parents to be able to acknowledge their children's feelings, they have to have enough self-development to acknowledge their own. We haven't seen each other in 6 months. We've barely talked. We text every once in a while. I haven't spoke to my stepdad in 6 months. It's just like, it's my way of healing and forgiving myself by, you know, basically having a no contact order, because they really still to this day undermine my experience. Oh, you didn't have it that bad. So-and-so had it worse. And it's just kind of like, man, especially when they do that, like when they compare my story to somebody else's, like, okay, we weren't in the same situation, so their story might have been worse because yeah, they were in a worse situation. But that's the thing too, my parents believe, since, you know, they provided food, shelter, and clothing, that was all they were supposed to do, and that I was fine. And that's what I need them to realize, that that is not the case. I need parents out there to realize, please, I need adults out there to realize, if you're trying to figure out what is going on with your life and this, that, and the other, maybe you did not receive these necessities when you were a child. So get therapy. That's what I'm doing, and I'm figuring things out. Like I told you, my therapists have blown my mind, like, countless times. So I'm just out here like healing and thriving and loving on my fiance and wanting to plan a wedding, and then wanting to figure out what the hell is going on with this pandemic. Because then I'm like, you know, can I even plan a wedding? I'm just trying to, you know, be able to move forward and help other people move forward, because I'm all about progression and positive progression. But I really have to heal my past, as I am doing, in order to progress forward. I don't want to be one of those people who act like nothing is wrong with them and nothing ever happens, and then one day I crash, or I end up in these horrible situations as far as like relationships are concerned, and that I'm unhappy, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want to, you know, complain or this, that, and the other. But I've been on that for a while. That's why me and my fiance started therapy three years ago. So I've always been about progression and moving forward. And I want to thank whoever watches these videos. It means a lot to me, especially when people, you know, reach out to me after and tell me how it resonated with them or how they can relate, because that is why I make these videos. Excuse me, I'm just rude. Because I know so many people just don't know how to communicate it. And if you know me for real, you know I've always been a different breed. And what I'm doing differently now is, you know, I'm lifting up the rug and sweeping out these traumas so people can acknowledge them and stop sweeping them under the rug, as so many tend to do. So yeah, that book, y'all, that book is really, look, my next video is gonna have to be about growing up with narcissistic parents. It's gonna be called Narcissist is a Narcissist. No, a Narcissist, excuse me, not cyst. But it's the thing is too, is there are so many people, I think I've said this already, who resonate with my story, and it's like, it don't make it normal, but it's like, it's not okay that look, it's a different generation. I just want us to progress, especially those with children. It is time to break the cycle, especially with young children. Be there for them more than financially, and which is, you know, the elements of food, shelter, and clothing. Be there for them in the ways that humans need to function to become functional adults. For the most part, children need to function and become functional adults. Yeah, it's just funny when I think about, when I like read that book and I realize things, you know, that my mom, dad, and stepdad didn't get either. And I'm just like, but damn, I be trying to tell them they didn't get that. Like, sis, bro, I see you, but let's try to make it better, you know? Yeah, I know your mom didn't get that to you. I know your dad didn't do that. But look, You could be the change. Be the man in the mirror and make that change. So either they get on the boat with me or not, but that is what initially, when I wrote that loss of a parent, even though my parents are still here physically, I lost them a long time ago, emotionally and mentally. I lost the type of mother and fathers I wanted them to be. And it's very hard to accept, one, because I'm my mom's only child and my stepdad's only child, and my dad doesn't have relationships with his other children. And it's just like, I am really trying right here, but eventually my match is gonna burn out and y'all really ain't gonna have kids. I'm sorry. It's not funny at all, but it's just like, man, you have one, and here I am, you know, just trying to have my one, and thinking about how I would never, ever treat my child the way that my parents have treated me over the years. Even my little uncle, I would never want to do the things to him my parents have done to me. And I'm not saying my parents were all bad and all evil, but they know what they've done, and they know their faults, and they know they could have did better, and they know I was not the heavy. No matter how much they insist, I was a child. I was a child, and at that, I was a child of emotionally immature adults. So I'm the adult child of one, but imagine being the child of one too. It's just as, you know, you don't know how to contain your emotions and things like that, and you're trying to do things to get attention because you're not getting it at home, and it's like, yeah. So anyway, thank you for watching my video. Happy New Year. Love and light to all. Find your superpower.